Is the cast on, Senex?
Yeah, man. We are good to go.
Okay, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the clan war between Team 2 Pro and Team Gex. We're going to start off our game between two players, Asylum and Wob Wob on GSL DF Atlas. Joined by my co-caster, it is none other than My Little Pony. Say hello, please.
What's up, everyone?
How old are you?
How old am I?
Mm-hmm.
I am 29.
And how old is that in dog years?
Old is what? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
How old is 29 in dog years?
I don't have a good answer for you.
It's all right. You're old enough to cast. Okay, going into this map. Have you seen this map before?
Yeah, I've seen it before. Not too familiar with it, though. What do you think?
It always kind of looks like a 2v2 map for me, but it'll probably be my first league-oriented cast on this map. So we're going to kind of be doing a little bit of observing on the terrain by our wonderful observer Titanium to kind of give us some insight as to what is likely to happen on this map. Anyways, starting off, again, we hit in our top right-hand side of the map, spawning as our purple Terran, it is Wob Wob. And on our bottom right-hand side, representing Team 2 Pro, spawning as the red Zerg player, it is Asylum. Now, Titanium, again, I'm going in your observations, so like I said, please do a little bit of terrain walkthrough so that players can be exposed to some of the observations. Again, in the main, we have a high ground spawn with the natural and third being low ground. And following into the regular playing field, there is an additional high ground, low ground situation. So as Terran, we're probably going to be likely to see drop spots. Now, these players don't know where each other are spawned are, but it's vertical positions. So again, like I said, there's probably going to be a lot of drops. It'll be very advantageous to the Terran to do, you know, kind of a bomber style, slowly developing rally push with these positions. But what do you think is going to happen between both of these players?
Well, so far the Zerg looks pretty standard at this point. He's sending a scout out at the moment, and from the looks of it, no gas from the Terran, so he might be opening fast expand. Let's see what happens.
That is very likely, but he did throw down that gas right after you said that, so he's definitely going to follow that up with something we'll see in a little bit, but I'm more interested in what the Zerg player is going to do. Do you think he's going to go 3 hatch, or do you think they're going to play a little bit more defensive? He did scout cross spawn, so maybe he thinks this map is force cross, but yeah, he's definitely going to be getting the late scout, it looks like. Is he going to be going across to the 1 o'clock position, or is he going straight down?
Well, it looks like Overlord is scouting right here also.
Yeah, it looks like that drone is definitely going to go to the bottom left-hand side of the map, which means he will be scouting late. He won't. Well, I take that back. The observer has definitely scouted the gas, so he knows some kind of tech is going to be coming his way. He's definitely going to want to reroute with that drone, as that's what I was paying attention to for the most part. But what do you think compositionally is going to come out of these two players? We see a lot of like Ling, Mutabaneling on maps like this. Very taxing on the multitasking, but I think the Terran's likely going to be doing really heavy racks timing pushes. But what do you think for the Zerg player is going to be more advantageous?
Yeah, usually nowadays you're seeing the Zerg open the speed link for the map control and to develop that drone count, and I don't know, I think that's what he's going to open and see what he does after that.
For some odd reason, Titanium, it's showing that you're not going into perspective. For whatever reason, it's showing the gas for the Terran player, so you might want to go in between like what each player can visibly see and what each player can't. So far, Moros did point out a good comment that the Zerg did not see the tech, so I don't know whether or not that's going to affect the speed. Yes, it is going to affect the speed. He's not going to have Ling speed for quite some time, so I'm a little bit worried about this push, as the command center is not even thrown down. So far for the Zerg player, the illusion is given off. Oh, I see. Okay. But yeah, to the Zerg player who's scouting so far, pretty much from what he sees, he thinks it's going to be an expand, but he hasn't even seen a natural yet, nor the gas is being taken. So, as you can see, that does reflect in the playstyle because gas is being taken extremely late. But the Zerg player is just sitting on 2 hatches here, getting some additional queens for the creep spread. A little bit worried, it looks like, the Zerg player is for taking the 3rd, as it is so super far away. You're going to want to get phenomenal creep spread on a map like this. I just want to note, the Terran player on a map like this for drops is definitely going to be able to jump between the 3rd base, natural, and main, so that could be extremely hard if the creep spread isn't done very well from our Zerg player here. So I think Asylum's just playing slightly more meticulous, and as we see 2 additional spine crawlers are going down, so he is hit to something. The Queen's finally able to see the Hellions here and thwart those off. 3 Queens and 2 spine crawlers is definitely going to be more than enough, but we are going to see quite a bit of Hellions as we have 2 reactor factories here before the command center is even going down. So we're going to see some heavy Hellion play in just a little bit, which the Zerg player kind of has like a little bit of a wall off here. So if the Queens plug the holes, it should be just fine, but we're definitely going to want to get a scout soon.
Okay, so he did scout 2 factories, so he knows it's going to be some sort of mech play.
Absolutely, and you know, this early in the game, the only thing is that the Terran players can be able to do is absolutely, you saw the 2 Hellions, so if he sees any more than 2 at this point, he's going to know there aren't Widow Mines or going into like a Widow Mine drops or anything, but the number of Hellions should tip the Zerg player off to the fact that it is double factory soon. But Wob's still in that phase where it does look like only 1 factory of production is you know, assimilating Hellions, so I do like that Asylum is playing a lot more meticulously though with these spine crawlers in the Baneley nest, making a kind of wall off while taking the gases. He's going to go to tech route instead of grabbing that really quick 3rd hatch, and I think on a map like this, that's pretty much just saying, hey, I'm aware of the fact that you have a very mobile Hellions on the map, and for Zerg, without good creep spread, you can't really just jump into that really quick 3rd, especially being that they're vertical spawns. So I really like the choice to be a lot more meticulous on this. We are seeing 4 gas though, so
Alright.
I wonder what the tech choice is going to be from our Zerg player as far as the next move. I'm assuming it's going to be Mutilus.
Alright, well, we have the Terran coming in here, and like, one thing I wanted to point out, this is pretty all-in-ish for it to be doing this many Hellions, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, especially, we didn't even see, but the 3rd factory had went down for the Terran player, so that 3rd is definitely going to be canceled, and I think that Spire is going to be hard-pressed to finish before Hellions just absolutely dominate. Might want to see a couple more spine crawlers come out of our Zerg player, as that will be the primary defense. Ton of Zerglings getting roasted on the bottom right. Yeah, Asylum here is really hard pressed. You can't really do much with Zerglings when you're hitting Hellion numbers of that amount. The creep spread is okay, but Lings just aren't going to do the trick right now as he's trying to get the Spire up. Spire is going to finish here in the next 10 seconds or so, and he's really going to want to get those mutas out in the field quick because that 3rd hatchery at this point in time is severely late.
Yeah, one thing I'd like to point out that I noticed from the Terran is he kind of cut his SCV production while he was making this big Hellion armies. I think Asylum could have taken a little better advantage, but I think with him cutting those SCVs, it's kind of putting him back some.
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at the worker tab here, it's 39 SCVs plus the 2 mules, probably puts it at around 45-ish SCVs. To a 47 of the Zerg, so it's pretty even in terms of economy. However, the Terran player here is definitely finishing the 3rd command center, so he's going to float that pretty soon here, and once the mules drop down, it could just be terrible position for Zerg players. We really need to see that 3rd base come down, maybe even into a quick 4th once the mutas get out, due to the fact that our Terran player is on just a heavy Hellion competition. Zerglings getting caught out in the middle of the field against these Hellions, and Blue Flame is not really researched, but who the heck needs Blue Flame when you have that many Hellions? Muta's now coming out onto the field, which is going to thwart off the Hellions a bit. And yeah, with these Mutas out now, these Hellions should be rendered useless. They are going to go ahead and try to dip in each time Mutas are seen across their chance under the map. So one thing about these Hellions, getting some great shots off on these 2 groups of Hellions, which kind of overstepped onto the creep here. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, one good thing about the Hellions is that they can continuously press the third when the Zerg player moves out with the Mutalisk, which that's where you really get your damage done, is where the Mutalisk can harass while taking bases. So they were proving to be a great utility, but like I said, overstepping onto the creep.
Oh boy,
oh my gosh,
oh,
and Widow
boy.
Mines are definitely a Zerg's worst nightmare, especially with the Thor follow-up. Very good defense here coming out of the Terran player. Turret's already up. That third base is slightly delayed from the Terran player, so this looks like it's actually going to even out. Zerg now finishing his third base, probably going to go into a really quick fourth. Ninja fourth on the bottom left-hand side of the map for those who didn't notice. So yeah, the Zerg player is definitely having a hard time. As you can see, creep spread blocking where the third would normally go, so he has to expand to the left. I'm a little surprised that he didn't take the left expansion anyways, as expanding toward the Zerg player at this stage in the game would mean that you constantly have to deal with the creep spread, and the Zerg, who might jump ahead in the economy here, it could be really hard for the Terran player on a composition like Hellion Widow Mine to really do a lot against a quite large number of healers here.
Some good micro out of him. He traded pretty well against those Hellions.
Absolutely. Now these mutas are going to have to play really meticulously. 3 factories of production, remember. So this isn't your usual crank out number of Widow Mines. This is 2 at a time coming out of 3 factories. That means 6 Widow Mines are going to be coming out at a time. So the Zerg player is really going to want to get those Overseers out, start getting close to max on that lane Baneling composition. He hasn't even made any Banelings yet, which is pretty unnecessary at this point in time.
Actually, just sorry to interrupt you, but when the Ismec play, Roach is pretty much the right decision, ZVT here. Lings, he's just not going to be able to trade properly.
Yeah, I definitely agree now that I've seen that he is fully transitioned into what looks like Thor Widow Mine. Oh, actually, no, he is starting some tanks right now.
Yeah, which is a very late transition. His upgrades are late, but it looks like Terran is still 0-0 too.
Like
so
this, the Mutalists are absolutely, while the upgrades are kicking in, while the Roach numbers are getting out, the Zerg player is going to want to keep using those Mutas to force those Widow Mines to burrow. Now notice there isn't much anti-air besides the Widow Mines and that single Thor there. So every time the Widow Mines get lifted up, the Mutas can absolutely, what is the terminology for Mutalists when they do this round?
oh, hotbox. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, Mutalists can hotbox the Thor if need be, but a couple Mutalists going to be picking off some tanks here, and wow, an additional 3 factories going down, so this is going to go up to 6 factories. Yeah, magic boxes.
That's it.
Yeah, there's a couple names for them, but anyways, I really like what Asylum's doing here with those mutas. They're pivotal here in making the opponent force siege in multiple areas. The creep spread should be getting pushed a little bit more towards the left side of the map. I do like that ninja expansion, as we can see, not quite getting utilized other than for production's sake. But we do have a full 3-hatch saturation, well, near full saturation, a little bit of behind us on the 3rd hatchery, but Roaches now are getting to a comfortable number. The Mutalisk right now, I'd really like to see it start poking at the 3rd base and whatnot. We need to see a lot more Mutalisk for that to be happening, though, as Widow Mines still are super deadly at this point in time of the game. Oh wow, we see the Roach move out. This would be a really powerful poke on the 3rd base. Widow Mines being burrowed, and whoa, Roaches are falling very rapidly. Mutas aren't even in play as they're idle because they need to wait for the Widow Mines to go out. But I would like to see them jump into that at this stage of the game. There we go. And I don't know about cost efficiency, but the Zerg definitely skyrocketed ahead as he was able to win by just sheer number. Like I said, the upgrades definitely kicked in for the Zerg player there too, as they just finished. 4th command center going to get lifted up, which means that the Zerg player should be able to drone up on that 4th base. But no, he's just going off the non-stop aggression. I think he's going to go ahead and try to just end it here with Roach Muta.
Yeah, I like the timing he hit here, because I noticed while he hit, it was a 1-1 timing, and the Terran was adding a lot more factory production, so he was putting his money into that, so it was a really good window for him to be hitting.
Yeah, and right here he's kind of being a little bit overstepping with those mutas, as they're all pretty much orange sun-kissed mutas at this point. The Roaches are going to go ahead and pull in the third command center, being that he knows the Terran player is really hard-pressed at the natural. Terran player going to go ahead and pick up the Widow Mines and the tanks. those are all going to get pushed off pretty much with ease. Roach is springing in from both sides, and I think this will probably just do it. He looks like he's going to play at this point. Roach is going to fight with that cooldown with the Widow Mines. Roach is literally just sit here and pick off anything in sight and then kind of just back up. Already advantageous because the third base now for the Terrans are not even mining. Those mutas are going to want to pick off those Widow Mines before that cooldown. They do successfully, and it just looks like a matter of time here before the Terran players get suffocated.
Yeah, I'm really liking the play he's doing here. I think